For 99% of our history, we humans lived as insignificant animals. We lived at the mercy of nature and in constant fear of being hunted down by predators. But in the last 1 lakh years, with the rise of Homo sapiens, we jumped from the bottom to the top of the food chain. What secret ability made us humans the dominant species on Earth? Was our species just born with special God-gifted abilities, or did some random evolutionary event shape our fate?
Hi, this is your host with a thick Indian accent who loves creating content backed by solid, rigorous and in-depth research. Welcome to the origin of human creativity.
Homo erectus and the discovery of fire. The two most energy-consuming organs in the human body are the brain and the intestines. Your brain consumes about 25% of your body's energy. To provide that energy, you need to eat food, and digesting food is yet another major energy-consuming process. Before our hunter-gatherer ancestors learned to control fire, all day, every day they had to roam around looking for food to fulfill the energy requirement of the brain. And if you have to constantly work hard to ensure your next meal, you cannot do much creative work. Creativity is the one thing that separates us humans from the rest of living beings. It is the reason why we could make tools, give rise to civilization and invent technology. But humans were not born with this ability. We developed it after undergoing a prolonged evolutionary process.
If you ask any historian or an archaeologist what is the one most important incident that changed the course of human history, they would say it is the discovery of fire.
Fire gave our ancestors two things: the ability to cook food and greater control over their surroundings. Cooking reduced the amount of time and energy required to digest food, and that extra energy went directly to our brain, making it even more powerful and resourceful. Secondly, for the first time in the history of planet Earth, some animal species gained more control over their surroundings with the help of fire.
Fire made possible our transition from a tree-living creature to a land animal. It became our weapon against the deadly predators.
When humans started sleeping on the ground, the fire kept away animals that hunt at night, and suddenly the quality of human sleep dramatically increased. It became more concentrated, shorter and consolidated in duration. And sleep is where your creativity resides. On one hand, the brains of our hunter-gatherer ancestors were getting all this extra energy because of the invention of cooking, and on the other, they were getting a good quality nighttime sleep. That's exactly when something almost miraculous happened to our brain. A passage from Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. The tree-to-ground reengineering of sleep was a key trigger that rocketed Homo sapiens to the top of evolution's lofty pyramid. At least two features define human beings relative to other primates. One, our degree of sociocultural complexity, and two, our cognitive intelligence. Both have been beneficially shaped by the hand of sleep. Our sleep consists of 90-minute sleep cycles. The first 60-minute phase is called NREM sleep, and the next 30-minute phase is called REM sleep. The first phase is beneficial for our memory. During this phase, our brain stores new information in our long-term memory. The second phase is beneficial for our creativity. During this phase, our brain makes connections between the past and the present. It associates new information with old ones, forms connections between different ideas, and in doing so comes up with creative insights.
Now all those centuries ago, when our sleep quality improved, so did our sleep cycles. They became more efficient and gave the human brain a cognitive boost that in turn led to cognitive revolution, the first and the most important revolution of our history. First and the most important one. Sapiens, a brief history of humankind. Page number 23. The appearance of new ways of thinking and communicating between 70,000 and 30,000 years ago constitutes the cognitive revolution. The accidental genetic mutations changed the inner wiring of the brains of sapiens, enabling them to think in unprecedented ways and to communicate using an altogether new type of language.
Between 20 to 25% of our sleep time is dedicated to REM sleep dreaming, compared to an average of 9% across all other primates. We humans are unique when it comes to our sleeping patterns, duration, and dream time.
The magic portion of REM sleep improved our brain in two ways. Firstly, by boosting our creative capabilities, and secondly, by making our brain emotionally superior. And that emotional superiority is the reason why we humans can cooperate on a large scale. To make the progress that our species has made so far, individual creativity was not enough. We needed large-scale social collaboration to make big things happen. The superior emotional brain gifts that REM sleep affords should be considered more influential in defining humanity's success than the benefit of inspiring creativity. Creativity is a powerful evolutionary tool, yes, but it is largely limited to an individual. Creativity is far more likely to remain fixed with an individual rather than spread to the masses if creative, ingenious solutions are not shared between individuals through the emotionally rich pro-social bonds and cooperative relationships that REM sleep promotes. Combine the capability of creative thinking with an ability for a large-scale social collaboration, and you have an animal that has the potential to dominate the planet Earth. With the help of sleep, our hunter-gatherer ancestors developed creative capabilities, but they could not achieve food security. They constantly had to work hard to ensure their next meal. All their creativity was limited to acquiring food, such as coming up with innovative ways to hunt animals. But between around 7,000 and 12,000 years ago, many human communities underwent a transition from being hunter-gatherers, occasionally trying to domesticate plants and animals, to full-blown farmers and herders, relying heavily on their crops and domestic animals. Many prominent historians maintain that agriculture is the worst mistake in the history of the human race. Yuval Noah Harari goes as far as writing that the essence of the agricultural revolution is the ability to keep more people alive under worse conditions, which is, by the way, is a great topic to explore for my next project on human history. The agricultural revolution did not turn out to be great for human health. It made us weak as compared to our hunter-gatherer ancestors. It gave us epidemics and, most of all, social inequality. But the irony is that in that very social inequality lies the secret of all the astonishing feats the human race has achieved in technology, art, and architecture. What? Really? Let me break it down for you. When we were hunter-gatherers, almost every person in the group had to work to acquire food. One had to find a way to remain useful in hunter-gatherer societies, and that usefulness was strictly limited to their ability to acquire food. Building tools, creating animal traps, everything was for food. Agriculture made possible the production of excess food that can be stored for later use. And that's why a portion of Homo sapiens managed to get free time to pursue their creative endeavors that were not in any way related to just feeding our tummies. It gave rise to social classes that did not actively participate in producing food. Some became artists, stonemasons, and blacksmiths. And as more and more people started living together, there emerged a need to keep people in check, to enforce law and order. And for that, some became the heads of the community in exchange for the protection they provided. And then the politicians, soldiers, knights, bureaucracy, and eventually arose insecure kings and their empires. This tiny minority of people who did nothing to grow food ended up ruling over the majority that worked very hard to produce food. But they also built great empires, funded artists to create art, and waged wars that drove innovation and technological advancement. Not all of it, but some of it. An art form like writing was not invented for some creative purpose like writing poetry. It emerged as a purely economic necessity. Writing was invented solely for keeping records of who owned how many animals, so on and so forth. But eventually people found other uses for it. Thank God they did, otherwise my profession would not have existed. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors got some free time and they ended up building great things. Today when we get free time, what do? We waste it on internet and social media. Anyway, in conclusion, agriculture gave us food security and the freedom to try out new things, but sleep could have been the very source of the creative spark that made us humans an exceptional species. Scientific data on how sleep can do wonders for your creativity is pretty conclusive. Even a daytime nap as short as 20 minutes can offer significant memory benefits if done correctly. To know how, watch the TED video I have linked in the description. Did you know that our hunter-gatherer ancestors were stronger and happier than us modern humans? They ate better food and had overall good mental health. By the way, I'm not dismissing all the technological progress that we have made since we became farmers. All I'm saying is, when it comes to truly enjoying your life, our hunter-gatherer ancestors have a few lessons to offer. Check out my documentary on that. To make this video, I had to read countless books on human history and evolution, and here are 3 books that I found most helpful: Sapiens, The Creative Spark by Augustine Fuentes, and Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I thank all the contributors for their valuable contributions. Without you guys, it wouldn't have been possible to devote my time and energy into making documentaries that require in-depth research. Thank you once again.